What's up YouTube, Saf here on SuperSaf TV, and this is my full comparison between the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge and the iPhone 6s Plus. So we've got both phablets here, and before we continue, just a disclaimer for any fanboys out there who are going to complain and say that the iPhone 6s Plus is older than the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge. Yes, I'm aware of that, but this is what you can currently buy, and when the iPhone 7 is out, we'll be comparing that to the S7 Edge then too, because those are the options that are available. So if you've got a problem with that, then you can go and yourself. So now that we've got that out of the way, let's get straight to the comparison. Let's kick off with the size, design and build. Although both devices have the same size display at 5.5 inches, the S7 Edge actually comes in a lot smaller both in terms of the height and the width, but it's ever so slightly thicker. This largely comes down to the big bezels of the 6s Plus, which is also around 35 grams heavier because of the full metal build. So the S7 Edge is definitely more compact overall and has a metal frame with glass panels on the front and back. It's also IP68 water and dust resistant, so you won't have any issues dropping this in water, which is a very nice thing to have. In my opinion, both devices look and feel premium, but for design I would have to give the edge to the S7 Edge. The dual curved display is still the best looking design on a smartphone out there, and this year the back is also slightly curved on both sides, which makes it easy to hold. Both devices however are a little slippery in the hand, so I definitely recommend picking up a skin to add some more grip from D brand, who are the sponsor for this video. They've got a huge range of skins for both the S7 Edge and the iPhone 6s Plus, and they're a great inexpensive way to customize the look of your phone too. I'll drop a link to the website in the description below if you're interested. Moving on to the displays, you have Super AMOLED for the S7 Edge versus LED backlit IPS for the iPhone 6s Plus. Both are great overall in most conditions, but we have a big difference in resolution. The 6s Plus has a 1080p display coming in at around 401 ppi pixel density, whereas the S7 Edge has a Quad HD display coming in at around 534 ppi. Now yes, for general use you may not notice much of a difference, but looking up close and for things like VR, the S7 is noticeably sharper. It also has an always on display which will show you either the time, your calendar or an image without taking up too much battery. Great for someone constantly waking their phone just to see things like the time. The 6s Plus however has a pressure sensitive display, what Apple call 3D touch. This allows you to push down harder on certain applications to get more options. So for instance, pushing down on a certain icon will give you shortcuts to within that app. My personal favorite feature of 3D touch is pushing down harder on the keyboard to more accurately place your cursor within text. The S7 Edge on the other hand has a dual edge display on which you can also assign shortcuts and things to within apps, and there's a few different edge specific apps you can download. This year there's also things like Newsfeed, and People Edge is still here, which I think is a great way to easily get to your favorite contacts. Moving on to performance, the iPhone 6s Plus has a dual core Apple A9 processor with 2GB of RAM. The S7 Edge either comes with the Snapdragon 820 or the Exynos octa-core with 4GB of RAM. It also has built-in cooling, which is a nice touch. Overall both are great, and I don't think you're going to have any issues for most tasks on either. I have done a more detailed speed test between these two, which I will link to in the description below if you want to see that. For storage, the 6s Plus comes in 3 different capacities, 16, 64 or 128GB. The S7 Edge has just the one 32GB version for now anyway, but this year does have a micro SD card slot which will let you expand the memory by up to 200GB, which is a lot more than the largest version of the 6s Plus and will also be a lot cheaper. I would have to give the win here to the S7 Edge for those reasons, and especially because the 6s Plus still comes with a 16GB base model, which is an absolute joke in this day and age. Now let's talk cameras. We actually have the same resolution this year, 5 megapixels for the front facing camera and 12 for the rear. The S7 Edge however has an f1.7 aperture, whereas the 6s Plus has f2.2. I've done a detailed camera comparison between both of these, and I'll link to that video in the description below, So I definitely recommend you check that out if you want more info. Overall, because of the wider aperture, larger pixels and dual pixel autofocus, the S7 Edge takes the win, especially in low light. The biggest difference between these two, however, is the software. We have Android versus iOS, and both have their advantages and disadvantages. As you know, I don't usually go into a battle in these videos. It does come down to personal preference, and this may just be a deciding factor for most people. For me, iOS is simple and straightforward, whereas Android allows more customization and freedom. The S7 Edge does have Samsung's Touch with Skin on top, however, and although this does give some additional features, it means you won't be getting updates directly from Google and will have to wait for some time. With iOS, you will be first in line to get those updates as soon as they are out. So that's an advantage that you get with the iPhone 6s Plus. Two things both have in common are fingerprint scanners and speakers. The two have a single bottom facing speaker, which sounds good overall, but can easily be covered up. And there's a fingerprint scanner on the home button, which works well on both, with Apple Pay on the 6s Plus and Samsung Pay on the S7 Edge. I've done a very quick fingerprint scanner speed test between the two if you're interested in seeing the specific difference, but I don't think you'll be disappointed with either. What's great about both devices is that they have huge batteries. The 6s Plus has a 2750 mAh battery and the S7 Edge has a 3600 mAh battery. In terms of usage, yo Kanye, how long does the battery last on both of these?
All day, all day.
That's right, all day. Oh, by the way, say hi to Kip from me. I had no problem getting through the full day with either of these, and I think most users will be the same. The S7 Edge does come with fast charging, however, so charges fully almost twice as fast as the 6s Plus, and it also supports fast wireless charging, so definitely gets the overall win in the battery department. Finally, let's talk about pricing. Obviously, this will vary from place to place and will change with time, but for the base models, you can expect to pay similar pricing for both of these. I'll drop some links in the description below if you want to check out the latest pricing and availability. So there we have it, the Samsung Galaxy S7 versus the iPhone 6s Plus. Overall, I think both have their advantages and disadvantages, and hopefully this video would have summarized them for you to help you make a better decision. Now, in my personal opinion, I think Apple are really going to have to up their game with the iPhone 7 because there's still lots of outdated features that we have, such as a 720p front-facing camera, no fast charging, and also 16 gigabytes for a base model, which is just absolutely silly in this year. So hopefully these issues will be resolved with the iPhone 7 and we'll have lots more new features. If you want to see a comparison of the iPhone 7 versus the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge when the iPhone 7 is out, then do hit that thumbs up button to let me know. Which do you like better, the iPhone 6s Plus or the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge? Drop me a comment below and let me know your thoughts, and you can also participate in the poll that will be here in the cards somewhere. If you haven't already, then make sure you have subscribed to the channel because there's plenty more content coming up on here. Finally, I would like to say thanks to Carphone for making this video possible with the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge by providing that early. Now, I am working on an epic project with them, as I had mentioned in previous videos. So if you want to see that, then make sure you are following me on Twitter, where I'll be posting updates of that. Thanks for watching. This is Saf on SuperSaf TV, and I'll see you next time. Oh, you can also see my previous related video here somewhere. Yeah. Catch you later. Boom.